What's up, Internet? We are here once again with CoolBoy 401 Real Game, the pirate multi-cart that just keeps on being a treasure trove of hidden information and intrigue. Last time we saw some amazing stuff, including more Wagan land in the form of Karopi, which I love. And today we're going to look at Captain Tsubasa V, or 5. Hey, it has the Tecmo Theater. Now, if I recall, there was actually an English Captain Tsubasa game. I think it was really awkwardly named the Tecmo Sport Soccer game, or something dumb like that. I don't know how well it's going to play because it's going to kind of be an RPG in Japanese. But this is based on Captain Tsubasa, which was a manga and anime, I believe. I'm not remotely familiar with it. It's based on Sportball, but basically, you're playing a game of football using RPG commands and stuff, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, this is based on my very little research on Captain Tsubasa, though. I don't know how I'm going to keep this interesting. I think the idea of mixing Sportball with RPG elements is interesting. I've seen stuff like Blood Bowl that looks really fascinating. I know my uncle's really into that. I've played stuff like the more action-y equivalent, which was the Mutant Football League most recently, and back in the day the Mutant League Football and stuff like that, although it's a different kind of football, that's hand-egg. But the point is, when it comes to Sportball, I think it's, the moment it comes out, it's immediately dated, and it's always going to be a slave to the technology and just as far as you can push it. The moment you push it out, it's immediately dated. Whereas if you make one that's hyper stylized and not necessarily even realistic, but just one that's trying to do its own unique thing, that's trying to be its own style, that isn't reliant necessarily on the technology, it's going to stand the test of time longer. So the more interesting and less obvious approach to sports games, I think, is probably the way to go to keep it more timeless, if that makes sense. Wow, this is a lot of stuff I wish I could skip, and it's not letting me. I don't know what any of this nonsense is. I can't read Japanese. I think I hear a crowd cheering. Maybe they're cheering for me having to sit through this nonsense. Come on, I am on a timetable here, game. Can we please speed this up? I just want to do the football RPG stuff nonsense so I can move on to the next game by Captain Tsubasa Team. I'm guessing that's his theme song. Volume 2. Some nonsense I can't read. Okay. So now we have some commands. Okay, so this is, I think this is like a setup sort of thing. Okay, we're gonna assume that that's how we start a match, which I think is sensible, seeing as we're now over here and not looking at the same screen anymore. Yeah, that's one thing that I hope is clear in like my gameplay videos and stuff. Like when I'm playing a game that's imported and stuff, it's just, you know, I can't read Japanese. I'm literally bumbling around using logic and, you know, my experience as a game developer to kind of see how people would structure menus and stuff, and basing it on, you know, what I know to try and work my way around it. Okay, so there is actual, like, kind of sports stuff. Okay, now we're in the actual RPG nonsense. Gotta admit, it looks great. Also, there's some text overflow at the bottom. Okay, I think I can manually aim it with that. This is interesting. I wish I could actually understand what's going on. Also, I'm pretty sure that's not how physics works. But, okay, so we want to pass this out. I think we want to pass it out to number 4, who's in the center. Run that out. Okay, I don't get an option until like someone contests what we're doing, I think, is how that works. I think, again, I'm basing this off of just my intuition and how this feels like it's playing. Okay, let's try and do that. Okay, so we're here. We want to... Okay, it's... Oh, okay. So it's not an actual, like, scroll where you go, like, up, 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 down, 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 or left, 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 right, right, right to go through. It's literally up, down, left, right are all different things to dictate what you do. Now, the problem is I'm kind of just having to play by feel. Ah, we didn't get a goal. Well, I think we kind of get the idea. It's interesting. It would be a lot more interesting if I could understand what's going on, but you know, I'm kind of picking it up a little bit. I think if I actually sat down for like half an hour, maybe an hour or two, I could really pick up what's going on even without being able to read it. And that actually does seem like a really interesting game because, again, it's not really reliant on it necessarily being sports so much as it is an RPG. Alright, next is Castlevania 2, which is Simon's Quest, which means this video is probably immediately going to get copyright claimed. Awesome. Thanks, Konami. Anyway, this is typically considered to be one of the worst Castlevania games ever. I'm actually not super familiar with the Castlevania games. I know I've played Castlevania 4, I've played Dracula X on the Super Nintendo, which I really, really like. I played Symphony of the Night, which I found to be really easy. And I played a little bit of the first one. I know the third game, if you're going to get it, you should get the Japanese version because the Japanese version of Castlevania 3 had custom sound chip for the Japanese version, whereas the English version, it just had a downgraded experience in general. But, you know, Castlevania, it's, you know, you whip stuff, you try not to die. This is one of those games where you kind of just have to get really good at what you do because it's unforgiving, and the way the physics works, stuff like that happens. So you could just kind of have to understand where enemies are going to spawn in front of you, not like that. And sort of just predict and attack while you jump, and just, you know, part of it's just, it's an exercise in memorization, but it's also an exercise in really learning how your character moves and stuff. And it's stuff like this that makes me love classic Castlevania as opposed to like the Symphony of the Night style of having to get better through basically just leveling and building a character up. Because I like RPG elements, but I think I like the style of having to manually get better yourself as opposed to having your avatar get better. One makes you feel like you're better, whereas the other is just, you know, the character you're controlling is better. I'm not really sure what that, what a terrible night it is to have a curse thing actually means. Like, I understand that in towns, all the townsfolk go inside and there's like monsters around, but I'm not sure what, in general, that means for you as a person means. Like, I would think that, you know, if your character's cursed or something, maybe he takes more damage, or like he gains new abilities or something. I don't know. Maybe someone who knows more about original Castlevania could tell me. I don't know much about Castlevania outside the few that I've played. I just know I think I prefer the classic style to the new one. But in my defense, the only newer Castlevania style I've played is Symphony of the Night, which I just found to be stupid easy. Uh-oh. Go away! I mean, the first time I played Castlevania Symphony of the Nights, I had to impose special rules just to keep it interesting. And it sort of became my signature way of playing Symphony of the Night, which is, if you're going to play Symphony of the Night, you can't have any equipment other than the color change cape. And no weapons. You have to fist fight every boss. And that actually really does change how you play that game quite a fair bit. And that's how I like to play Symphony of the Night. It's a little more interesting. I don't want to respawn these guys. I'll take that. Alright. Ooh, that was close. Thank you, rapid buttons. Oh god. I think we get the point. It's Castlevania, it's fun. I also played Dracula X, and like the previously viewed Banana Prince, it's one of those games that never got translated into English officially. And it's one of those ones you kind of wish it did, because when you first play it, it's amazing. And then you get to a level that is just like literally reading comprehension because it's a quiz, and it's just, when that happens, especially in a game where, you know, you just fall in love with it immediately, your heart just sinks and just feels terrible because it's like you just know you're never going to finish this outside getting wildly lucky. Caveman Ninja. Now this, I believe, is Joe and Mac on the NES. I never played the original Joe and Mac. It doesn't look like... No, I did way back in the day, but it never really interested me all that much. My girlfriend got me the sequel to that, which was a game called Congo's Caper. Doesn't feature Joe or Mac. And I remember at one point playing Joe and Mac 2, which is Joe and Mac 3, except Joe and Mac 3 is an arcade game. This series is a little strange like that. And I remember that game being pretty fun, so I would like to get Joe and Mac 2 someday. The English Joe and Mac 2, anyway. But this is an arcade game. It's a platformer. It's a little bit like Adventure Island in that you are running around collecting fruit and stuff to feed yourself and stay alive. At least the Super Nintendo version was. And you're throwing axes and stuff. And it being an arcade game, you basically just can't stand around because you'll die. So you just gotta keep moving. Although the NES version, it's nowhere near as good as any other version of it. And this is a series I don't really recall being all that particularly good to begin with. It was okay at best. I think it was kind of an average, mediocre sort of game series, but, you know, I think that this is definitely not one of the better ports of this game. I would argue you kind of have to consider this its own separate thing. Whoa, whoa! I do kind of like the damage sound effect. Oh! You know, whenever you hear the NES trying to emulate, like, actual vocalizations, it's fascinating to see. Wow, there is, like, no amount of invulnerability for damage. That's kind of nonsense. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh this bad, this bad, that's real bad. Bro. Yeah, I think that's about all the Joe and Mac I can stomach. I've never been the biggest Joe and Mac fan, though. Like I said, I kind of want to play the Joe and Mac 2 on the Super Nintendo, because I remember that game at least being a little bit better, but I think in general that's just not the best port of the series. Alright, next we have Chip Dale 1, which is Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. based on the series that I never watched. But this is one of those Capcom games that was based on Disney products back on the NES, so it was actually really, really good. And you can even get this today on modern consoles thanks to the Disney Afternoon Collection, which also includes its sequel, Darkwing Duck, and DuckTales 1, but not DuckTales 2, which sucks because DuckTales 2 is kind of rare and awesome. So if you wanted to play this because you think it looks interesting, you can. In fact, I think this week it's actually on sale. But I'm not the most familiar with Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Also, I'm pretty sure that was like right in front of the boss too, so... You know, we're starting over. Now, I can tell you, there was a third Chip and Dale's game, but it wasn't official, and it wasn't named Chip and Dale's. It was named Squirrel King, and it was on the Mega Drive. I played it. And that would actually get modified in its own way into a Super Mario game. But it had very similar mechanics. You pick up boxes and you throw them at stuff. The only difference between this and that, aside from the fact that it's not quite as polished and it's on the Mega Drive, is there's also a special glove power-up that let you just throw fireballs. Sort of like if you didn't have a box to throw, it just sort of automatically gave you something to work with. But it was also a pirate game, so it wasn't all that good. It was pretty low quality. Oh. Oh no. Alright, we'll give it one more try and then we'll go move on to the next one, which is Chip Dale 2, which I'm betting is a sequel to this. Which means I'm probably going to be just as bad. Hey, a star. But we got a game over. Fortunately, we can go play Chip Dale 2 to make us feel just a little bit better about everything. All the way down here. It's hard to believe we're almost done this cartridge. We're at 260 of 400, which doesn't sound like much. And I'm not sure if I'm going to change up how I do this, but I know by 300, we're probably not going to be spending half as much time on individual games, so I might double up or something. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out when I get there, but I know once we hit 300, we basically... Spoilers, we've kind of hit the end of the cart. Because, well, after that, it's bad. It's really bad, and I don't look forward to it, and we're going to have to do that for a while, unless I just try and, like, power through all of it at once, which sounds wildly unpleasant. It feels like they tightened up the, like, jumping physics a little bit. And it, compared to the last game, this one just, the jumping and the running, it feels a little bit more comfortable. Not that there was really anything wrong with the last game, but this one just feels it's a little bit better. It's one of those things where, you know, the previous iteration, it was fine, it was good, but there's something about this that just, it feels better. It's hard to put into words. It just feels like it has a slightly better flow. Although, that said, that could also be attributed to the level design of the first area. The last area. Or the last area, the last game. But so far, I think I'm liking Rescue Rangers 2 a little bit more than Rescue Rangers 1. Granted, this is based on how little you've clearly seen me play this. Oh, that's really neat. Cookies. Alright, let's fight this guy. Okay. Box! I need you! Whoops. Okay, there's no arc to box. That's useful to know. It feels like we're fighting on like a bubble stage. With like the, like I could just see bubbles filled with water flow down. Oh no. No. Let's not get dizzy and die. That would be... Hey, physics helped us. Thanks, physics! Physics is just being like the best friend we always wanted. Oh, let's not, Oh, physics. I appreciate the help, but you were just a little low. There we go. Thanks, physics. Yeah, this game's just... maybe it's just a little easier? I'm not sure, but something about it just feels a little bit more... easy to play, I guess. It feels a little better. Oh. I guess I was supposed to probably throw that up and hit that star or something. Alright. Let's go, Rodentia. We have things that need to be rescued. I don't know. Was Chippendale's Rescue Rangers like The Rescuers? I remember that movie quite a lot. Even though I don't remember it being a particularly good movie. Well, I'm not gonna lie, that also kind of bleeds into that terrible Tom and Jerry movie I saw when I was a kid. I owned that. That. I had a feeling that would be a thing. It was colored differently. I know your tricks, game. Slow down! New boss? It's the Red Aramir. Okay, cool. Let's fight him. And then I get thrown off, so let's not do that. Oh, neat. Okay. I can have to hang it down here, I guess. Whoops. Okay, I'll give it one more try. This is a little bit of a trickier boss. Okay, and that'll take out the boxes. So we need him to drop them in such a way that I can grab that, throw it there. One more try. You can tell I'm getting into this. I just want more tries. Yeah, this is definitely like a Capcom game from the time. It's not necessarily easy, but it's a fun difficulty. It's like, it's challenging, but, you know, it's rewarding too. And this is the sort of thing I was talking about when I talked about, you know, games being way too easy nowadays, and how it's bad for child development. It's like, you know, stuff like this is great. And it's not even just rewarding in necessarily the fact that, you know, if you keep at it, you'll actually succeed, but it's rewarding in the fact that, you know, it's just fun to play. You know, getting to actually, you know, lose and lose again to this, you know, that in and of itself is, in its own strange way, kind of rewarding. And I love that. Whoopsie. You know, if I wasn't so dead set on waiting, because I'm sure, yeah, he's not gonna dive bomb every time. It'd actually be a fairly easy fight. But I'm also wanting to, like, hit him at every possible interval, because I'm just kind of greedy like that, I guess. Ooh. This is fun. Whoop. Woo! Nice work. Alright, well, I think we know what that's about. That was fun. I had a lot of fun with that. I definitely like that more than the first one. Very similar games, but I think they just tightened up the controls a little bit, and they just worked on it a little bit to make it feel a little bit better, you know? Anyway, that was these past 5. Now, would I recommend this cartridge based on these past 5? Well, Captain Tsubasa, honestly, I'm not into Sportball, but I think the RPG elements are definitely there, and even though I can't understand a word of it, I think I could pick it up if I genuinely sat down for like an hour or two just to try and like test out all the different menus and stuff. I like that, which is weird for me to say about a sport game. Castlevania 2, I know a lot of people consider it to be the worst Castlevania in the world, even though like the N64 ones and a lot of other really bad Castlevanias exist, especially nowadays. I didn't think it was as good as, say, like Dracula X or anything, but you know, it was okay. Caveman Ninja, I'm not that enthused about it. I know there's so many better iterations of it. Chip 'n Dale 1 is good, but not great. Chip 'n Dale 2 I found to be way more enjoyable. Based on these past 5, yes, I would recommend this cartridge. The only one I would maybe skip out on is Caveman Ninja, and even then, that was pretty good. But join me next time where we'll look at Chip 'n Dale 3. I don't think that's Squirrel King, because I know that's a Mega Drive game, but I guess we'll find out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the show to see more of my stuff and to know when it happens. And if you want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can, provided that you're able to help make my life a little easier, especially nowadays when things are a little bit grim. Plus, it helps me to continue to do what I do to the best of my abilities. You get yourself on the Discord, and we can talk about how awesome Capcom was at adapting Disney properties, too. Because, let's just be honest, they were amazing at it back when they, you know, did it. And it's sad they don't anymore. But, yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time where we'll look at Chip Dale 3. Anyway, peace out, Internet.